now
Okay.
co-oping.
All right. Call the meeting to order. Please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
We do a roll call, please.
Okay, Wondergen?
Here.
Highboard?
Here.
Steffes? Gardine?
Here.
Palmer here. DeHaan?
Here.
Klein?
Here.
Four.
Thank you. As a courtesy to members of the audience and the Board of Education, please silence your cell phones. The public will be able to speak during public comment if signed up. Do we have any public comment forms? All right. Before we do approval of agenda, we'd like to add something. We already have a goldenrod, but add 4A to it, election report, so we can get a report from Mr. Wondergem on the election today. All right, so can I get a motion for approval of agenda?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? All right. Consent action agenda, can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Excellent. I'd like to note there's a lot of great personnel hires on there, so
Yeah.
well done. That's a lot of work.
Grandville grads.
Yeah, I was gonna ask about that, yeah.
It's exciting. And it's nice to
Homegrown.
be so, it is ahead of the August rush too, so well done, thank you. Moving on to our regular action agenda, our first item is the MHSAA membership resolution. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the Michigan High School Athletic Association MHSAA membership resolution in order to join the association for the 2023-2024 school year. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
So one of the first signs of summer is me bringing this to you on the agenda. This is an annual membership resolution that we have to do in order for our teams to participate in the MHSAA tournaments. So I have filled the form out, and if you have any questions, fire away.
Has anything changed?
Nothing. Nothing
I
has
did
changed.
see that some other teams moved around in some of the other.
Yeah, there's some conference.
Any new into our conference? No.
Not in
Okay,
the
not
red.
in the red. Okay.
And nothing on the horizon? Awesome.
No.
All right.
Okay.
Any more questions, comments? All right, all in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Motion carries. Next item, high school lab replacement. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the purchase of 32 HP Omen 25L gaming desktop computers for a total purchase price of $63,223.36. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
And there's a little backstory to this too that I know some people want to share.
Thank you. So Walter will talk about the fact that this lab was a scheduled replacement, but we're really excited to tack on, when you read the background information that he provided, that we're specifically looking to upgrade those standard computers for some gaming computers, and we're going to add some esports programming for next year. Esports will be a club, but it will fall under the athletics umbrella and provide an opportunity for our students to participate in esports. And it's just a growing field. There are a number of school districts around us where students participate in esports, and college scholarships are even available. So just an activity that kids are already involved in, and an opportunity for us to connect that to school. We're excited that Justin Gomer is going to lead our esports as the coach. And before we turn it over to Walter, I just wanted Justin to talk a little bit about the interest that we already have in momentum going into next year.
So Adam Linkto did a survey before school ended to get school interest, and there was 85 students that were interested in esports.
Wow.
And currently we have 4 students that have officially applied, because it's on final forms now, that kids can join. And just a little bit about how it works. So Monday nights will be practices. So all the teams, we're looking at 6 teams, hopefully, if we can get enough interest. Monday nights will be practice, and then Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday will be the matches, depending on what game is played. So there's 1 game a night. So it'll be kind of like a week-long process. But I'm super excited to be a part of this. I'm a huge gamer. Been a gamer my whole life, and I really wish this was around when I was in school, because I think it would have changed a lot for me too.
That's great.
Yeah.
How many weeks does the season go?
I don't remember off the hand, but there's 2 seasons, so there's a winter and a spring. It's like 2 months total, I think, something like that.
What type of games are they gaming with? Is it like sports, like a basketball or
So-
hockey, something like that?
Yeah,
Or is
one
it-
of them is kind of like soccer, but with cars. So that one's called Rocket League. So instead of a person, you're a car, and you have jetpacks, and you hit this giant soccer ball. It's huge, and I think that's 4 versus 4 for that game. And then the other one is League of Legends, which it's kind of hard to explain, but it's kind of like chess, more advanced. So there's 2 teams, there's like 2 armies, they're facing off on a map. You kind of see like a top-down view of all your characters, and you have to take the other person's base before the other team. And then the other one we're looking at doing is called Super Smash Brothers. That's a fighting game. So that's a Nintendo one, so it's, kid-friendly. You play with like Super Mario, Luigi, all those characters, and you're just fighting each other, and it's really highly advanced with some of the skills that are needed for that game.
Just a follow-up.
Yeah,
Will the kids be programming or mainly just playing the game?
just playing it.
Okay,
Yep.
and competing?
Yep,
and-
competing
okay.
with all other
Okay, I wasn't
schools,
sure if
so-
there was a component in there for, okay.
Yeah, there's 84 schools that were in the this last year's league, and then they're looking for probably about 150 schools this year participating, us included now.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, there actually is a student that just graduated this year in the 2023 school class. And he, from 6th grade, would leave, or he would play and make thousands of bucks every year
Yeah.
off of gaming.
Yep.
Right? So my question is, do those students who are already making money, can they still be on your teams? Like, is that saying, oh, we got a pro kid over here doing this? They won't be able to.
If they've already graduated, they can't.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, like as a
school student.
freshman
High
through,
school student, yeah.
right, he was making thousands of dollars since 6th grade all the way through.
Mhm.
Not, I don't want him to come back and do that because he's off to school, but it's just an interesting, like he was
Do
literally
they
a
make money from
professional
school?
in 6th and 7th grade playing with 20-some-year-olds.
Okay.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Probably have to
I
look into
think
it.
so,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
we had to check into the league
Yeah, it'd be
regulations.
very interesting to figure
Yeah.
that out.
Will they get academic or athletic letters?
Our
That's
vision,
cool. Sure.
this is an athletic style activity. It's not technically a sport, right,
Right.
but like a club. So I think, all being new, we'll approach it like we do our other club teams, like a rugby.
How about like
So, yeah.
robotics? Does
Yep.
robotics, they letter or do they not letter with
I
robotics?
think they have their own awards,
Okay.
but
So I
this
just
one.
think it's falling under the athletic department if.
Can you
Some
letter in a
people
club
would want-
sport?
Rugby?
I didn't think
yeah?
you could.
Well, like powerlifting last year was a club, and they got letters.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and that's our determination.
Or-
So
okay,
like what honors we would give them,
Okay,
so,
Yeah.
when they come home with a trophy.
yeah.
Yeah, they do get trophies. So I went to the Western Michigan Final Championships for the last round, and they had trophies and medals and everything. It was a really cool event.
That's
I also don't think that a lot of people, I mean, when I taught at Davenport, I had a ton of esports kids on scholarships to go to Davenport. So it's, I mean, if you think about students making money playing with other teams internationally and nationally and like scholarships, it's a really cool opportunity for students.
One of the statistics, and I don't remember the exact number, but somewhere around 46% of students that are involved statewide in esports aren't involved in any other school activity, or previous to esports hadn't been involved in any other activity. So if you remember a couple of years ago when we started tracking who's involved in what, who's connected with what, this is just a really exciting new opportunity for us to build our belonging for kids by involvement. So, backstory. We'll turn it over to Walter because it did have some impact on the type of computers that we would need to be able to run this. Like I said, the benefit was we were already replacing one lab, so we kind of had an expected cost standard that then we could just springboard from. It's not all new for that.
Yeah, so this would replace high school computer lab room in room 128. So as Scott mentioned, we were already planning on replacing those computers. We try and do a 5-year refresh cycle on computer hardware in computer labs. So we were already planning on the cost of replacing that lab. These computers obviously are a bit more expensive because to run some of these games, you need a more higher performance computer to get the frame rates and make things competitive. So normally we purchase our computers off of the statewide REMC bid list. And just again, another tribute to how popular esports is getting, the REMC statewide bid list has specific computers on their list for esports. So these computers are HP gaming computers, but they're still off the statewide REMC bid list.
So, a couple questions. I'm noticing you've got your gaming mouse and gaming headset. Is this something sort of like in hockey, where a player brings his own stick and brings his own gloves? He doesn't use anybody else's. Does that happen in the gaming world too?
Sorry, you want?
Sure.
Go ahead.
Okay. Yeah, they can bring their own hardware if they want to. So this is just a good baseline for the kids that don't have anything. But they might have something even higher end at home if they're already doing this potentially professionally already. And if they're more comfortable with whatever they have, then they could bring that.
Okay. And then my other question is, there's no monitors here. Well, what are you driving this on? What
It's
are
got
they,
gaming
what are
monitors
they
on the
viewing?
list.
Yeah, sorry, did I not miss?
No, it's on there. It says 32
Well,
HP
it's a
only.
gaming monitor. How is that tied? See, to me, it's not the same, and that's just because I deal with print. So I deal with BenQs. So that's what I look at all day long. I look at 4 BenQs all day long. So where is this compared to a BenQ?
So the difference with gaming monitors is, so a traditional monitor refreshes at 60 frames a second.
Yep.
These gaming monitors are a lot higher. So this one specifically is going to do 165 frames a second. And what that does is it allows everyone to be able to track what's going on in the game a lot easier. So like I have a 144 hertz monitor at my house. And when I play games, like we're not going to do shooting games here, but those ones, there's a lot of motion and there's characters moving around.
Right.
And you're able to actually see them a lot clearer and be able to target them quicker. So
And my biggest question was, that's a great price.
It really is,
$184 for that monitor?
mm-hmm.
Unbelievable.
Yep.
Yeah, BenQ's like $3,000 for me, but no, this is very cool. It's nice. So, one more question. With this new addition, Heather, what's the differential with what we would have bought versus what we are buying?
I anticipated that question. So if we were to just replace that computer lab with traditional computers,
Yep.
it would have been a little over $31,000 to replace the computers in that lab. So comparatively, this is roughly double, but
How many years will we get out of these?
we're anticipating the same 5-year refresh cycle on
Okay,
these.
then it's worth the investment.
We are, there are some minor upgrades, for example, like video card, memory, things like that we
Yep.
did that the REMC pricing allowed us to do because we're anticipating, obviously gaming stuff changes quickly, but we
Yep.
still want to try and get, good value out of these and get the 5-year refresh cycle if we can.
Okay.
Yeah, that was going to be my question, because that stuff changes so quickly.
Correct.
And so frequent. So you still think you can get 5 years?
I believe so, yeah.
Do you anticipate that you'll change the games along that 5-year that you play? I mean, I don't know if there's any kind of, all districts are gonna play this game this year.
Yeah.
Sometimes they do that with other, is that kind of what?
So there's a couple different leagues. The one that we're joining, they support a certain list of games. And these 3 that I'm pushing for, they have the highest chance of getting scholarships for.
Yeah.
But they could potentially change over time. But like League of Legends is the biggest esports game in the world. Like there was a championship a couple weekends ago, and there was 150,000 people watching a live stream. It was in a full football stadium, full of fans cheering, just like any other
I feel like I'm
sport.
missing out.
Those are all pretty much the standard ones. I mean, the Smash Brother ones. is a
Yeah,
little
Smash
bit
Brothers,
newer.
all 3 of those have been around for a very long time. They're very popular.
Yeah.
So If anything, they'd probably be adding more games, but they probably wouldn't be getting rid of these 3.
It's crazy. I mean, my cousin's boyfriend, he does this professionally. And the pictures I see, he's down in Florida and they travel over the country. But the pictures I see, it's like in a stadium and all these banks of, guys and gals on their monitors and computers. It's
So,
crazy.
Bob, do you remember Mary Walsh's son?
Yeah,
He was like one of the first gamers, I
He's
think.
making a ton of money
I
still.
mean, he was branding.
He's got his own league.
Okay. I mean, he was one of the beginners, and he's a
Oh, yeah.
Grandville graduate.
He was
And his
probably
mother was on the
making-
school board.
He was probably making $500,000 a year back when I joined the board.
Yeah. He was, I know he'd stay up all night
Had
and
his
then go
own-
to school.
I hear a sponsor.
Collection.
We got a sponsor for the team. We're gonna offset that. We're gonna get new computers every year.
That would be awesome. In our own dedicated room, that would be
Day
awesome.
long. Yeah.
Come on, gotta use those connections.
Absolutely. I think he was also Monster drink or something too.
They were
Perfect.
sponsored
Look at
by
how this
that.
all
They
works
were
together.
sponsored by Best Buy. Their 4-man team got the first year got $1 million contract per year with Best Buy.
I remember that. That was
Remember?
their precedent.
That's 20 years ago.
Yeah,
remember
right.
that.
I mean,
Yeah,
look how excited you got. I
yeah,
know.
exactly.
I know, we're all excited.
Feeling any pressure?
Feeling any pressure?
Feeling the pressure? No, not at all. No, I'm super excited to do this, but yeah, it is
Yeah.
definitely a little overwhelming as I've never coached any teams before, but I've been a gamer my
Great.
whole life, so that part of
Yeah.
it's gonna be super easy.
I will say that one of the things, because Justin has talked to a number of other school districts about this, and one of the things that they did say is, be sure to start out small, and start out with a smaller list of games, and then as interest builds, obviously the program builds. But
Yeah, as,
you want to be successful.
Yeah, East Kentwood, they only started out with 1 team of 6, and then now they're managing 150 students right now.
That's fantastic.
Nice.
So, and we're looking to do maybe 42. So it's kind of starting bigger than a lot of the other schools did, but.
That's fantastic.
Yeah.
You'll do
Do you
great.
have a co-coach or anyone that's?
Yeah, so Ryan Baldwin, one of the techs for district, he's my assistant coach for the first season, and then we'll kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, great.
Fantastic. Well, my family is a big fan of success in obscure sports, so we're, being the disc golf family, we've seen how, non-mainstream things that have been promoted for decades can turn into a real career, and it's exciting to offer these opportunities for our students here in school as well. I do have 3 questions.
Okay.
First of all, have you spoken to the gentleman who was here a few board meetings ago, and he's attended a few, and he's very passionate about e-gaming and the community leagues and getting connections with what
Yeah,
they're
I've
doing?
spoken with him and
Okay.
hooked him up with KDL because
Perfect.
they're trying to do, they're working into the community element, which is where he is.
Yes.
So they'll have a good partnership there.
That would be great. My second question is, I think, a tag team between the two, but I think it's in the same vein. It's about management. So first part of the question is, it sounds like you have games selected, but can you talk to us about how the software, the gaming software, is managed by the school district? Because I'm thinking a lot of students will come here with a lot of experiences and interest in games that might not fit into maybe a curricular mold. And the second part of that is, I've got 6 boys. I've seen them. I've seen them play. I've heard them online with people. How do we talk to them about gaming behaviors? I hear the talk tracks in the background. I open the basement door once and I'm like, was that you saying that? No, Mom, it was not me. It was somebody else in the game. So I want to know how we build
Etiquette.
etiquette and sportsmanship and a good representation of sports, not just here, but how do they carry that outside of this opportunity to lead,
Right. So
lead
as
other?
they've said, it does fall under the athletics department, so all the same rules apply. And then, yeah, I'll
Perfect.
be keeping an eye on them. We're going to be using a chat platform called Discord to communicate with the other schools and to communicate with each other.
Yeah.
And that can all be monitored. I can have it flagged for different words and stuff, and then make sure that I involve Adam for discipline and all that.
Yeah.
Because no one ever swears on the football field.
Can your, I know, right, they don't. In Discord, when we're
Yep.
using it through the school, can you just use it for our uses and then block the other uses of it, like?
Yeah, it's going to be
Okay.
very locked down. I'm still learning it as I go,
Okay.
but it's just going to be just the teams that are going to be allowed to be a part of the server on here and be able to communicate with just
Awesome.
me and Ryan.
Very
that.
good.
But
Justin is my network and server engineer. In case
Yeah.
you didn't know
Oh,
that,
yes.
But Justin and I have been working together on how we're going to configure like the firewall and all that kind of management
Mm-hmm.
stuff. So that, because currently this is a normal computer lab as well during the school
Mm-hmm.
day, so you can't put scheduling in place so things are blocked during a normal school day. So
Right.
kids that are in the computer lab won't have access to all that stuff. Then after school gets out, when practices are in place, we can schedule those.
Can, like on their, can we provide them anything to practice outside of school? Or is it going to be just locked into school?
So I think it's currently just going to be locked down to into school, but meeting with some of the other schools around here, a lot of these kids that are playing have all the hardware at home
Right,
already.
right.
So they'll probably be playing at home too. I think East Kentwood, they said their kids are practicing like 40 hours a week on their own hardware at home.
Of
So,
course they were.
yeah. So,
No, Mom, really.
Yeah, yeah, this is gonna be fun. I'm practicing.
I'm starting to
yeah.
back down on the idea now.
hey, they could be making
40
millions of
hours.
dollars someday.
Hey,
It's,
it's true.
it's all
So
worth
the
it.
software responds to how the kids play, like, does it keep score? Are you killing, not killing people, but you're eliminating things that get points, that kind of
Right,
thing?
yep.
Okay.
So yeah, there's stat tracking and all the games. Some of them, it's gonna be very automated and it'll tie into this league's website, so it's all gonna be posted on there. But in the case of Smash Brothers and I believe Rocket League, Ryan and I are gonna have to manually, like, work with the students and track the games and then log it all on the
Okay.
website. So there's gonna be a little more work behind the scenes on some of them, but.
Yeah,
Yep.
Thank you.
Mhm.
That sounds really fun.
All right, any more questions or comments? All right, let's take a roll call vote, please.
Okay. Palmer, yes. Gardine,
Yes.
DeHaan,
Yes.
Wondergen,
Yes.
Highboard,
Yes.
Klein.
Yes,
Yes.
thank you.
Have a good season.
Thanks.
All right, we're excited to see.
We'll have Justin come back, maybe give
Oh,
us an
cool.
update once you get things rolling and
Mm-hmm.
so on. Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, that's a good question. Are we gonna be able to watch? Is this gonna be like a?
So, not currently. I know Rockford, they actually live stream some
Okay.
of their games, but there's a lot more equipment involved, and I'm not very familiar with that side of things yet. So for right now, it's just gonna start small and just be local. But yeah, I definitely would like to get there.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thanks, Justin.
Yeah, exactly.
Our next item on the action agenda is school photography service. It is recommended the Board of Education approve the use of photography services from Geskis Photography Incorporated for the 2023, 2024, 2025, and the 25-26 school years. Can I get a motion?
Support.
So, Mr. Langto and Mrs. Roskowski are here to kind of give you an update of where we're at with this.
Yeah, so Mr. Langto, Mr. Parsons, and Mr. Kleinhexel took the lead on this one in terms of meeting with Geskis and Life Touch. And then from there, they concluded those interviews and created a pro-con list. And then we took that and put it in our evaluation scoring that we do. So I'll let Mr. Langto talk a little bit about his experience with them because he has had a lot more experience than I have. But as you can see from the scoring, our recommendation would be Geskis.
So, Life Touch was the other company that came in, that was the only one that I spoke to Heather, the only one that had reached out, so we had both in. And Life Touch has a lot of big corporate partners, such as like Shutterfly and things like that. So they have the ability to do a lot of different things and have access to a lot of different services. But when it comes down to what we need, especially on the athletic side of things, we have, as you guys know, parents and community members who take photos for our teams, but not only just our athletic teams, but for our band and theater and things like that. And Geskis has allowed the flexibility to allow those parents to do that in conjunction with that. While Life Touch said they would honor that as well, that was one of the pluses that the athletic department has said that has worked in the past. For me, it comes down to what are our parents paying and what are our parents getting as a product and what do we need. And The other piece of that is, a customer service piece that Heather highlighted in this, that we felt that Geskis has been with us and has done great work. And I think one of the things I told Heather was, back a couple years ago when we were trying to figure out how to do a graduation service and we were moving it from June to July to this, that, football field, this, that, they were with us the whole way and they have made that out. They've taken our feedback, they've adjusted things. When I've asked them if they have different products or different ways to do things that some of these other companies have, they have, changed up how they have helped us out. They're talking about next year going to some digital ordering pieces that can help parents, but also so you don't have to come in with your packet to orientation day and things like that. So I think that they've adapted, and the way that I described it to Heather was, we have a Cadillac and a Chevy, right? And I don't think we need all these options right now because we're not going to utilize these options, but the Chevy has done a lot of good things for us. And Geskis has been there, has been great. Anytime I need something, I call our rep Brian Gritter up and he is in with it. If there's an issue, he's on it right away. And I can't say enough, and I know that Charlie and Brian felt the same way about athletics. So I felt like they've done a great job, and as graduation, they've adjusted from taking the pictures afterwards, and that was something we asked them to do, and they did it without fall. And they came out there to give our kids and our parents an opportunity to get a picture during some of the craziest times for us. So I just feel like some loyalty to a local company too is important. So
They are local.
yeah.
Yeah,
Yep.
right, yeah.
So, I like your pick. I appreciate, the spreadsheet and how you weighted everything. We don't talk about this much on this board, but we should when it's appropriate, and that is local. So Geskis, I used to work with someone who's a partial owner now, because they are a family-owned business versus a corporation. Brett Babs, great guy. I don't know if you know him. So to me, that's always, it's got to weight a little more. It's not on your list. And I would love it to be part of your future. I mean, we got 3 years, but I think putting that down and giving it some weight, even if it's 10%.
Yeah, and I guess I rolled that into one of the other, our experience with them. That's kind of where I rolled
Okay.
in the local piece.
Okay.
It was part of my pro-con list, Bob. And I talked to Heather, and she mentioned that there was, some I don't know if it's board policy or something where.
Yeah, it's in board policy as well.
Oh.
Procurement, local, whenever you can.
Yeah, and, their prices are, it's unbelievable when I see this price list. This is kind of sweet, so thanks for the work you did.
Yep.
It's nice to validate it occasionally. The last time we did this, 5 years ago?
Yes.
It would have been about 5.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it would have been my first year, yeah.
So, nice job. You're proving us that we're still doing what we need to do.
So this will cover all the district, correct? Not just
Correct.
the high school or
Yeah, we
athletics?
did it, Heather had me
Or
do
the
it because
entire-
obviously with
Gotcha.
all the different clubs, organization, athletics, and then the biggest thing, but they've, like I said,
They've
they've
done
covered
that.
all the buildings and take care of the elementaries with their, yearbooks, their little class list books and all that stuff like that, so.
They've been a great partner.
Yep.
Yeah, and I think the other thing too, and Adam asked the question of Life Touch in that interview was, they were gonna give us a kickback. And Adam said, well, there's no cost to us, can you just move that kickback to us, to the parents? And they wouldn't do it. So that was another kind of piece for us, eye-opening for us of how difficult it is, right? Even though they say they're gonna be flexible with the athletic side, how difficult it can be to work with a larger corporation.
Yeah, they wanted to give us a percentage, and I said to roll it back to the parents to lower the cost, and they didn't want to, so.
That's standard in the industry to do that, being a director on Little League. They get 10% kick,
Mhm.
and
Yeah.
it's standard in the industry to give it back to the organization. So, good ask.
Any other comments, questions? All right, let's take a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Perfect, motion carries. Thank you for your work on that. Our next item, which is the goldenrod, is the L4029. It is recommended that the mills be levied on properties located within the Grandville Public School District will be General Fund 18 mills on all non-homestead property, Capital Projects Fund Seeking Fund 1.3521 mills on all properties, a Headley rollback from 1.4 mills, and the Debt Fund 5.0500 mills on all properties. Can I get a motion?
So moved.
Support.
You'll hear a little more about this during the budget portion, but Heather, take her away.
Yeah, so in the world of you can't make this up, I literally got an email this morning from Byron Township, and that letter is in your packet as well, basically stating that they wouldn't accept our draft L4029. They have a new treasurer, and they pulled the law out, and they called me today, but they called Byron Center last Friday, so thankfully she had already contacted their attorney. And this is something that I will bring to you separately now, but I'll also reiterate it again at our budget hearing, because I need to get this signed, otherwise they won't put us on their tax roll effective July 1, because it's going to their printer June 16. So I told her, I said, well, that's really lucky because I have a board meeting tonight. So anyway, so I just included in there the letter or the email from her and then their letter. But this is essentially what we're looking to approve, and we've talked a little bit about this. That first line there is the levy that expires December 31 of 23 at the 16.8422 mills. Because the community supported the 19 mil non-homestead operating levy, the difference to get to the 18 is that 1.1578. So for our non-homestead general fund, we will be levying the full 18 mills that were allowed. The sinking fund will continue to levy the 1.3521. And that did not get rolled back from the prior year. So that levy is set to expire 12/31 of 26. And then our debt millage will remain at the 5.05 mils. And I did work with PFM, our financial advisor, on that to make sure that we look at that every year to see if we can lower that or not, and we cannot at this time, so.
Byron Center is in our district? I guess I'm confused.
Byron Township. So,
Byron
and this is the thing, like Byron Township is probably the smallest. I mean, I think we literally have
54 votes.
I think the number of parcels there, I could probably count on two hands, so.
It's like 3 pieces of property north of the expressway, like 12 on the other
It's over
side.
by where I live.
It just kind of zigzags back and forth over M6 there.
Okay.
So what did they say that they didn't like?
They didn't like, let me just
The word
pull it.
draft.
Well, in their opinion, they don't want to accelerate the millage, even though ever since I've been here and Deb was here, we have always sent a draft to them, and then we bring it to you. You've never had any changes. I mean, because I don't want to say it is what it is, but like we do the work, we work with the attorney, and there's really no change. So they felt that it's accelerating it. They didn't want to be on the hook if something were to change. But,
So, just slightly, maybe not cart before the horse kind of a thing, but maybe they're sitting side by side right now.
yeah.
Shouldn't we be doing a budget hearing before we do this?
You
Or
have a
no?
choice.
No, we can do this. The budget hearing just has to be approved before they levy the taxes, which is after July 1. So I just have to have a budget hearing by July 1. And that's why I called Byron today to say, hey, did you talk to the attorney? And she said yes. So what I'll probably do is do this very similarly going forward, is look at the L4029 should something weird happen between now and the budget hearing, I would always bring it back to you. It's not going to happen, though. I mean,
Okay.
I get the rollback from the county, or like in this case, it was approved, or it'll be 18. And then again, in May is when I work with PFM to get those debt numbers, so.
Okay, thanks.
Mhm.
Any comments or questions? No? All right, let's take a vote. All in favor?
Yes.
Opposed? Thank you, Heather, for your quick action on this. Looks like I need to sign something later. All right. Our final item on the regular action agenda is the election report.
So, it was a well-attended meeting, probably the one that all 20 districts showed up, very first time since I've been going there, that they showed up. So that was kind of nice. Andrea led the meeting. The final vote was, well, they didn't give us all the numbers. Andrea got 14 votes. Ann Hemming got 15 votes, and they're the two. We did not know what the third candidate got. So,
say those names, of course.
Andrea Heidel and Ann Hemming. So, Thorna Bocello. So,
Thank you for doing that.
Yep, appreciate that.
Thanks for coming.
Did you
15-minute
know-
meeting.
Know people? Any old timers there?
Oh, yeah, quite a few.
Good.
Yeah, quite a few.
Good.
Yeah. But that's all I got for you. I just want to let you know, and I didn't want it to wait in order somebody asked me the question. We already have the answer.
All right. Thank you much.
Thank you.
Any comments or questions?
Sweet.
All right. Well, we don't have any public comment tonight, so the next meeting of the Grandville Board of Education will be Tuesday, June 20th, 2023. The budget hearing will begin at 6:30 PM, followed by the regular meeting at 6 PM here at the administration building. This meeting is adjourned.
So